Here we have Mark II of the e-bike collection, really, as a beginning stage. Not long bought this. It is a Rosetta Sport bicycle. It's basically a copy of the Schwinn Stingray, really, to be fair. But what I plan to do with this one is I have a very specific style in mind for this, which will involve having to cut the frame about, complete new paint scheme on it. I might even look at trying to extend or do something with the forks to kind of get the angle of them a little bit more. Say it's sitting like this at the minute, I want to try and perhaps get it so it's sitting a bit further like this, and maybe have to extend the fork tubes themselves. Have to play around and see what happens with this. But yes, this is the beginning part of it. It's all quite a tidy little bike, to be fair. It's actually really smart. So it's got a little bit of dust and stuff all over it, but to be quite honest, it's very nice, especially these seats. Seems original to it, but they all go rusty, and this bit all gets all knackered like the Schwinn Stingray I had that's now the e-bike. Yeah, it's really nice. I actually really quite like this as a push bike. But yes, I will show attach a photo of what I shall be converting this into, which is something I have not seen done to a push bike or an e-bike of any kind. So yeah, here we are, beginning part. Here is a quick update on the old chopper bike. We have taken off all the stickers on the framework now, and all of the front forks and everything, so she's all clean and ready to take the next stage, which will be just taking off the wheels, taking off the chain guard, taking off the rear wheel arch, probably take off the V-brakes on the back, seat post and seat frame can come off then. And then it's ready then to be painted. What I'm going to do really, I think, is get some primer, because the paint on this is really quite decent for this push bike. It's really quite nice. So I'm going to leave it and paint it over the top of the actual frame, paint what's there already, because it's decent enough. But before I do any of that, I'm going to do some welding and bits and bobs on the actual frame at the back, because in the film where the back of this seat is, on this seat backing, I've got a Sissy Bar, which is just here. I've marked off some areas where I'm going to cut the excess pieces off, but this is 10mm thick stainless steel bar, so it can still be welded, but it can also be polished up like chrome, but it will last longer because it won't go rusty, which is the nice bit about stainless. It's a bit more expensive, but there is a reason. It is pretty decent. I can't remember what the other video had in it now. This has got disc brakes on the front, which is nice, so it'll have a bit more stopping power than the original Death Machine, because it's just got V brakes all around on her, which are not so efficient when you've got a push bike that's going about 25 mile an hour, or sometimes even 30 mile an hour down a hill. It's not very efficient way of stopping a vehicle going that speed. So disc brakes are going to be a welcome improvement on it. But yeah, here we are. Trying to think what else we're going to do. We're going to make the seat, of course. I'm going to cut this piece off, this sort of nose piece, and just have it where it's flat. I might shape it a little bit, not just have it like a box, actually shape it a little bit up to here, and then that'd be nice then. So this is another update, and will be probably the last update for this video for now, because of waiting on getting the rest of the parts and bits together now for it really. What I've done, because I've had a bit of a difficulty in trying to work out where to put the battery for this, because on the other e-bike the battery was along here, but what I will be doing for this bike is actually buying a real motorcycle fuel tank. The design is called an alien head, from which will match. I'm trying to match it up exactly as the same as the one on the film from Easy Rider, and get it painted. There's a person I know that does airbrush artwork, and he's agreed to do the paintwork for me on the fuel tank for us, which is amazing. So yeah, my idea was to put the battery within the fuel tank, but the only problem with that, I've thought, is obviously if I want to put the battery on charge and I'm somewhere where I can't get a cable to it very easily, then it would make putting it on charge quite difficult. So what I've done is I've cut the bottom part of this seat post, because it did go from here down to where this sort of hole is here, went down between theirs two. So I've cut that off and cut this off at the bottom and smoothed it out. It's just got primer just to protect obviously the metalwork for the minute, until I get together what I want to do for the frame, whether I do paint it, whether I do look at getting it perhaps chrome plated, or perhaps vinyl wrapped in chrome or something. I'm not too sure. Still in a bit of a stage of working stuff out. I still don't know what I'm doing yet myself, but it's all it's a work in progress. But yeah, the reason I've cut this out is so that this is a nice flat area that I can mount the battery here for it, so then I can still unhook it, take the battery away from the bike, put the battery on charge indoors. It also disables it from being an e-bike. It just makes it a normal push bike with lots of stuff all over it. But yeah, it would make it a lot easier. And also putting it lower down would mean that the battery is going to be quite a heavy item, same as on the other bike. It would mean that the center of gravity for the weight will be quite low, meaning it might be quite nice to handle. It might improve the handling of it, because I'm trying to do everything on this bike to kind of one up from the first bike that I did. So what I've learned isn't so fantastic on the first one. I'm going to make improvements, so things such as better brakes, like disc brakes and bits and bobs like that on this bike. But yeah, the Sissy Bar is now in place, and it's mounted on the wheel arch or fender, so I can sit on here, and where it's bolted down here and here, it makes this very strong, so this isn't going to go anywhere. I will probably polish this up, protect it, and so forth. It's just that at the moment it doesn't look so fantastic because it's still a project that's being made. I've also welded on these brackets for the two lights, so you've got like one light that will go here and one light that will go here on the back, and then on the back of the actual Sissy Bar bit there will be a number plate holder, which I've actually had made a novelty number plate which matches exactly as the number plate on the film from the bike itself, like a California black and yellow plate, steel plate, which will go on the back underneath. What I've found are the lights that match the same as the one on the film. The rear brake light is also the same as the one that's on the film. The fuel tank will be done the same as the film, which would be unusual to see an actual motorcycle fuel tank on a push bike. I've also spoken to a local company that do seats for motorcycles, and they've agreed that they can do the seat covering, where they will put sponge on the seat, cover the seat in leather or something, and get the studs to also match the same as the film, so that will be pretty neat. I'm getting risers for here, so these are sitting quite a small rise at the moment. I'm going to get some additional risers to bring up the handlebars like they were on a film, and get some longer, so this part that's from here up to here will be a bit longer as well, because these are actually quite short really. So when I'm sitting, because I'm like 5'9", if I sit there and I have my feet here, it is quite short, so I'm gonna have to sit sort of more further back in order for my legs to kind of turn the pedals easily, which is fine, but it just keeps everything in proportion. It just looks like it's the right dimensions for everything, so that's great. What I will do, because I won't be using the fuel tank for petrol, I will cut out the underside part of the fuel tank, one so it can fit in this frame, and two so I can actually fit things like the electric control unit for the rear electric hub, because I'm still using the same system as I have on the other e-bike. I just haven't got the pannier bags to hide the stuff in, so I'm going to probably widen the hole here where this brake cable goes through, and drill another hole up here so that the wiring can then come up, go through, follow this cable, and then go in, hide into the frame. I can't put it further back because this is a tube that sits inside this frame and you can't put wires through it, so I have to put it beyond this point, which is here. And I thought, well, I've already got a hole here, I may as well just repurpose that hole and fit more wiring in it. I'm getting some chrome wrap wiring cover stuff, so it kind of acts as a conduit almost to go over the wiring and the brake cable, which is in chrome again, the same as the 1960s dress up stuff would have been, same as that's actually on the motorcycle in the film. Again, it's trying to keep it very much to the stuff that's on the film because of it being a themed bike. And what else am I thinking? So at the moment, it might be a little while before I do another video update because of one, funding the parts, and two, waiting for these parts then to arrive as well. But in the meantime, I can do things like get some filler, because obviously I've got bits here where holes and welding, and I just want to make that a little bit neater, a little bit smoother, and just get it all ready and prepared for when it comes to painting the frame and everything and all this. So yeah, it's pretty neat, but it's getting there. It is getting there. It's starting to take a little bit more shape. I've parked it here with the other push bikes. I mean, these are sort of normal, regular looking push bikes, and already you can kind of see that it's already quite a bizarre looking bike compared to what you would have as a normal push bike. But it's good fun. I just thought, I've never seen anyone make the Easy Rider Captain America's chopper into a push bike, or into an electric push bike, or e-bike as they call it. So I've not seen that done, not to the level of detail that I will probably do. I've looked on the internet, I've tried to research it, I can't find anything that turns up any information on Easy Rider push bikes. I found a lot of the Orange County Chopper push bikes, the TV series that was on Discovery Channel and Sky. I've seen a few of those that have been done such things, or bikes that have been heavily modified, or bespoke frames that have been made, and I tell you, they look amazing, but I've not seen anything like what this is, so it'll be kind of a first for this to be done, I think, so that would be quite cool. I did have an idea of perhaps buying it another bike and doing the same, but making it the Billy bike, as you had what was his name? You had Billy and Peter Fonda, who played the other character in the film. I actually can't remember what his name is. I know Billy, who was the director of the film, came up with the idea that Billy and the other guy were actually names from cowboys from previous films, because he thought, well, that would be quite a unique name to call the characters in the film, as they're kind of just travelling across America and stuff on these iron horses, which, much like cowboys, would have ridden across America on actual horses. So yeah, that's a kind of a funny, unique thing. I might do a separate video actually pinpointing some of the more unknown aspects of the film Easy Rider, like who actually invented or came up with the bikes, how did they get made, who made them, and actually it's quite an important thing, because the Easy Rider motorcycles are iconic, like very, very iconic motorcycles, and I think a few people actually know who made the bikes to start with, so that'd be interesting. But yeah, there we go. This is an update of what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm going to hide all the electrics within the fuel tank. I'm just waiting on finances and stuff to come through. Out of, I earn money, I'm in a job. So it's a matter of just gathering the funds together to sort of do this sort of silly things that I come up with, silly ideas. So funds, and then getting the tank painted, getting the seat covered and upholstered in the leather and studs and bits and bobs, and then really getting all the wiring together, getting the lights wired in, getting the headlight. I'm getting the headlight for the front of it and everything. A voltage dropper which drops anything from 70 volts down to 12 or just above 12 volts, which will then power things like the headlight or the rear lights and that sort of thing, which again I will hide within the fuel tank, so none of it will be on show. All you might have is a little bit of wiring going around, which you would expect to find on an e-bike or a motorcycle anyway, so that's nothing out of the ordinary that will be there. So that would be quite cool. I mean, this Sissy Bar is not going anywhere. It's very strong. It's got a bit of flex to it because it's quite, it sits up quite tall for where it is on the bike, so it's quite a high thing. And also tried to shape the Sissy Bar to have this sort of kickback curve at the top there, like the original bike did on the film, and bits and bobs. So it's a lot of paying attention to detail that I'm trying to keep in mind, but also work with the fact that this is an actual push bike and it's not a Harley Davidson motorcycle. So there are some limits to it, but yeah, here we are. Update so far, and this is probably as far as I want to get for now. Stay tuned to keep up to date with it. Yeah, I will keep posting as of when things happen and they occur. Okay, thank you for watching, and speak soon. Bye.